1 minute ago, Britain hit a moment no government ever wants to see. Not rumor, not speculation. Cold numbers, hard reality. 68 lorries intercepted in one night. 4820 migrants discovered inside, exhausted, dehydrated, terrified. The single biggest border breach in modern UK history. What followed was not procedure, it was collapse. Border force overwhelmed. Kent ports gridlocked. Police rerouted from protests to coastline emergencies. Immigration officers waving for backup that never arrived. Within minutes, the footage spread, a chain of lorries stretching like a metallic serpent across the M20, children passing water bottles through gaps, drivers shouting in panic as authorities scrambled without a plan. Keir Starmer was briefed at dawn and froze, because this wasn't a crisis arriving slowly, it arrived in convoys, and by the time Westminster understood what happened, Britain already knew. Stay, this is only the beginning. It began at 2:14 am, cold, dark coastal winds tearing across Kent like a warning. A patrol officer checking traffic flow noticed something odd: too many foreign plate lorries arriving at once. Not suspicious individually, but together, a pattern, a rhythm, a conv. He radios, "Control, we've got multiple HGV entries, convoy formation requesting scan priority." Control responds slow, too slow. By the time ANPR cameras logged plate numbers, the second wave arrived, then the third. Then lorries kept coming like a flood through a cracked dam. Port security deployed additional staff, dogs brought in. Thermal scanners flickered red like alarms from another world. First container opened, 5 people inside. Second, 28. Third, 4 dozen. Officers exchanged a look no training prepares you for. This is no accident. 3:00 am, emergency declaration at Dover border force called reinforcements. Police redirected. Ambulances lined the port like white ghosts awaiting casualties. By 3:27 am, tally reached 1,200 migrants. Then 21,000. Then 3,000. Medical tents were erected on asphalt, blankets distributed, translators scrambled, children crying in arms of strangers who couldn't reassure them because Britain itself was shaken. A sergeant muttered under breath, caught by a bodycam mic, "We are beyond capacity." Officials avoided eye contact because capacity wasn't just stretched, it was snapping. 4:40 am. Leaked photo goes viral. A drone shot captured rows of lorries parked in seizure formation. All doors open. Silhouettes of families stepping onto UK soil under floodlights. Someone uploaded it before press could sanitize it. 10 minutes later, Twitter wildfire. Number lorry night, number border collapse, number 4820 arrivals, comments section turned battlefield. Where is the government? We lost border control. This is what crisis looks like. But one comment went nuclear. 68 lorries equals organized operation. Who let this through? That question would haunt Westminster before sunrise. 5:30 am, Downing Street, woken aides rushed into No 10 like medics responding to a cardiac arrest. Starmer sat at the briefing table half-dressed, hair unsettled, coffee trembling in cold hands. The Home Secretary slid a folder across the desk. Inside, photos, intake numbers, risk assessments. He scanned first page, eyes widened. He reached page 3, voice cracked. 4,800. The Home Secretary nodded, defeated. Starmer whispered, "How many more could be coming?" Silence. The kind that doesn't answer because the answer is worse than silence. 6:00 am, broadcast begins. News anchors came alive like alarms. Loudspeaker, largest coordinated migrant entry in modern UK history. Loudspeaker, border force overwhelmed, temporary shelters collapsing. Loudspeaker, government scrambling for response. A reporter at Dover said on live feed, "Britain is watching authority bend, maybe break." A sentence no sitting PM once replayed, but replay it did, on loop, everywhere. 6:40 am, public reaction explodes. Parents trying to get kids to school refresh phones in shock. Drivers stuck in lorry-backed traffic shout into radios. Coastal towns posting warnings, accommodation full, medical stretched. Protest groups shift focus instantly, migration fears surge. Education anger merges. Economic frustration merges. This isn't just a border breach, it's fuel poured onto Britain's existing fire. One mother outside a primary school says into camera, "My child doesn't even have a desk in class." Where will 48-0 be placed? Clip blows through social media like a torch to dry grass. 7:15 am, opposition arrives fast. Too fast, opposition leader steps before cameras, voice like polished steel. This is failure of planning, failure of authority, and failure of leadership. He does not name the Prime Minister. He doesn't need to, everyone knew who he meant. 7:40 am. Westminster splits, government meeting devolves into chaos. One minister slams fist. If we don't respond now, we lose control permanently. Another fires back. Respond with what? We have no capacity, no housing, no plan. A third stands and delivers the sentence nobody dared speak aloud. One more crisis and we collapse. Room goes silent because this wasn't the crisis. This was the one after the crisis. And the country has no patience left. 8:15 am, reports suggest more convoys incoming, radar blips, sightings across channel. French authorities confirm movement. Word spreads fast. This was phase 1. What is phase 2? More lorries, more arrivals, or something bigger? No one knows, and not knowing is the real terror. 9 o'clock am, public opinion turns polls update live. Government confidence. 31% right arrow, 22% in one morning bar chart. Border trust level falls to 14%, 67% say crisis is out of control. Bar chart 48% demand PM emergency, address today. Teachers marched yesterday. Parents joined them. Now migrants, borders and national capacity sit on the table like a pile of live grenades. 1 crisis was manageable, 2 was pressure, 3 breaks the spine. 9:12 am. Dover isn't controlling the crisis anymore, it's sinking beneath it. Rows of lorries stretch across the port like a metallic graveyard of British authority. Helicopters cut circles overhead. Hundreds of migrants sit wrapped in foil blankets. Parents lift children toward medics. Officers scramble to separate families from traffickers. Reporters speak with urgency usually reserved for war zones. We are witnessing state capacity breaking live. Every minute, more arrivals processed. Every minute, resources thin. Within hours, secondary ports confirm activity. Round Pushpin Tilbury, round Pushpin Hull, round Pushpin Holyhead, round Pushpin Southampton. Britain isn't watching a breach. It's watching multiple front entries at once. Something coordinated, something planned. Something far beyond random trafficking surge. 10 o'clock am, the UK gridlocks, motorways shut. Ferries halted, border queues stretch for miles. Footage of Kent shows lorries at a standstill, engines off, horns silent, a frozen artery of British commerce. One trucker films himself, eyes red. I've been here 5 hours, no movement, no guidance, we're stranded. Business owners comment beneath, we can't operate, we can't deliver, we can't function. Economists warn. Chart decreasing, supply chain delay chart decreasing, fresh goods expiry chart decreasing, fuel haulage interruption, everything Britain needs to live slowing. 10:30 am. Migrant centres collapse, temporary shelters overflow in under 2 hours. Community halls packed shoulder to shoulder. Sports centres converted into emergency dorms. A volunteer whispers on camera, we don't have enough blankets. We don't have water, we weren't warned. No one was. Officials report, 0 pre-alert before convoy arrival. French authorities notified late or not at all. Intelligence chain gaps confirmed, and then the question hits like a hammer. How did 68 lorries cross the channel unnoticed? Either surveillance failed or someone wanted it to fail. Both options shake the nation. 11:05 am, a Parliament emergency motion inside the Commons. Opposition MP stands, voice loud, cutting. This is the day authority cracked. The government must act with force or step aside. Conservatives nod, Reform MPs bang desks. Even Labour benches shift uncomfortably. Speaker demands order, but the room feels like a storm eye. Then a sentence that rips the chamber open. We demand immediate border emergency powers vote. Gasps, shouts, journalists sprint to phones. If passed, government gains sweeping control. If rejected, country sees a PM rejected in crisis. Either outcome is earthquake. 11:40 am, public sentiment explodes, live polling updates. Bar chart 74% demand border emergency declaration. 62% call for military assistance at ports. Bar chart 51% believe smuggling operations have inside help. Bar chart 35% already think resignations are inevitable. Comments flood in. Britain lost control. Where is leadership? How many more convoys coming? And trending hashtag becomes national roar. Number take back the border. 12:30 p.m. The unthinkable HAPPNS Coast Guard reports another convoy sighted offshore. 19 lorries loaded onto ferries. Not speculation. Confirmed, this isn't aftermath, this is ongoing escalation. Dover sirens wail again, officers run. Hundreds of citizens gather watching, filming, shouting. A man in the crowd yells, if government won't protect borders, we will. Police immediately tighten lines, because one more spark could turn fear right arrow, anger right arrow, confrontation. 12:55 p.m, Stymir faces his staff in No 10 strategy room, tense faces. Maps, screens, capacity charts glowing red. PM speaks. We must contain this without aggression. Britain is not hostile. A security advisor snaps, controlled rage breaking. Prime Minister, borders don't care about tone, they care about strength. Another slams file. If we delay again, the public will believe we surrendered control. Starmer stands silent, jaw tight. Indecision now looks like weakness, and weakness looks like an exit sign. 1:22 p.m. Media begins saying the word broadcaster. Is this the beginning of a government collapse? Panelists exchange looks, no one denies it. Sky headline flashes. Loudspeaker authority CICKS under migrant surge. Loudspeaker PM under pressure as new convoy approaches. Loudspeaker country demands decisive action. Trust is not slipping. It's pouring out like water from a shattered glass. 1:45 p.m. Cabinet SBLITS publicly Home Secretary appears first. We must secure borders immediately with all resources necessary. Education Secretary follows. We cannot house, teach or process numbers at this scale. Treasury Minister hesitates but concedes. Emergency spending must be considered. One voice missing, Starmer's. Silence speaks louder than statements. 2:10 p.m. The moment everyone feared, protesters, 20,000 strong, begin marching toward Parliament, mixing. Anti-migration groups, teachers from previous day, parents angry at overcrowding, workers furious at supply delays, national tensions merging like storm fronts. Placards fill the air, close the routes. We can't take more, lead or leave. Police deploy additional lines, riot shields appear. This is no longer policy debate. This is public uprising. 2:45 p.m. Stymie finally SBAKS. He walks toward live podium, hands shaking slightly. He knows, a speech now chooses history's path, calm the storm or drown in it. Lights blind him, microphones awaken, nation breathes in. He begins, my fellow citizens. But outside, 50,000 voices cut him off with a roar that shakes London stone. No more words, action. Cameras capture Starmer's eyes flicker, fear, doubt, realization. A leader is not measured by crisis avoided, but by crisis confronted. And today Britain confronts him. 3:00 p.m. Prime Minister Keir Starmer stands under studio lights, face pale under pressure, eyes scanning teleprompter like a man reading his own verdict. Outside Parliament, the roar grows so loud that reporters speak with mics pressed to lips, words trembling. We cannot hear the Prime Minister from here, the crowd is louder. He raises his voice into the microphone. Today, Britain faces an unprecedented challenge. The convoy events. A wave of boos slams into Downing Street like thunder. This isn't a speech, it's a courtroom. And the nation is the jury. Starmer pushes through. Our borders remain secure, the crowd explodes. No, they don't. We just saw the footage. Tell the truth. A man waves his phone high showing live drone video of lorries unloading migrants, real-time evidence contradicting the speech. Trust snaps like a rope pulled too tight. 3:12 p.m., the fatal sentence. Starmer breathes, steadies himself and delivers the line he believes will settle panic. We have the situation under control. Silence. Not because they believe him, because they don't. Then an eruption. Liar, step down. Britain is not controlled. Chants gain rhythm like marching drums. Lead or leave. Lead or leave. His authority is bleeding out live on national television. 3:20 p.m., the border video leak while he speaks. Breaking news banners slash across screens. Loudspeaker leaked intelligence. Home Office warned of convoy 9 days earlier. Loudspeaker government failed to prepare. Loudspeaker alert was ignored or buried. Screenshots of internal emails spread instantly. One message in red circle dominates social media. Situation manageable, low priority. It timestamps 9 days before the breach. Britain doesn't just question leadership now, Britain feels betrayed. 3:35 p.m. Police lines break in Dover. Live footage cuts from the speech to the port. Crowds clash with officers in Dover, pushing barriers, shouting, demanding closure of ferry lanes. Not violent out of anger, violent out of fear. A father cries into camera, if the government can't protect borders, how do they protect my children? Tear gas deployed, scuffles erupt, officers overwhelmed. Migrants escorted to buses under shield cover, images brutal, heart-wrenching, chaotic. Two crises now run side by side, humanitarian crisis for arrivals, security crisis for citizens. Britain watches torn between compassion and panic. 4:00 p.m. Starmer pressed live, journalists attack like lions. Why were warnings ignored? Is this leadership failure? Will you resign if you cannot secure borders? His answers long, careful, political, but the country doesn't want careful. The country wants certainty, strength, a yes or no. He gives neither. 4:22 p.m. Opposition takes the stage while Starmer speaks. Opposition leader walks outside Parliament. No script, no podium, just a mic. Voice powerful, sharp as steel. If the Prime Minister won't declare a border emergency, I will table the motion myself. Crowd screams approval. Reporters pivot instantly. Cameras swing away from Starmer toward the opposition. In that moment, the PM loses control of narrative. He is speaking, but no one is listening. 4:40 p.m. Parliament begins to move. MP messages leak. Confidence letters drafting. Numbers rising fast. He may not survive the week. A senior Labour figure whispers to press, if he doesn't declare emergency powers by tonight, we push for leadership vote. Even allies go still. Because everyone knows, a leader is measured by crisis response, not speech tone. 5:00 p.m. Something breaks on camera during Q&A. Starmer glances to side as if asking permission from aides. The moment lasts half a second, but millions notice. Social media explodes with a caption, a leader shouldn't look for permission, a leader gives direction. Perception flips. Starmer doesn't look in charge, he looks cornered. 5:22 p.m. A new actor enters the game. Breaking push notification sets the nation on fire. Loudspeaker Buckingham Palace requests briefing on migrant convoy situation. Loudspeaker Prince William expected to attend emergency advisory call. Loudspeaker royal involvement signals severity. 2 royal interventions in 1 week. Uncharted territory. Crowd reacts like spark to dry powder. The Crown is watching. IF government lead the palace will. No one suggests overthrow, just the reality. Royal scrutiny means national seriousness. And seriousness means time is gone. Action must come now. 6:00 p.m. The final blow of the day. Home Office official leaks one more line to press. The second conv cannot be stopped without emergency powers. Meaning, if Starmer delays, another 2,000–3,000 arrivals hit shore tonight. The crisis doubles, public fear triples, Parliament's patience ends. Starmer ends the speech, steps away from podium, sweat visible, but the sound following him is not applause. It is the roar of the crowd outside demanding more than words. He hasn't solved the crisis. He has started Act 2. Tonight will decide. Does he declare emergency powers and risk backlash, or refuse and risk political collapse? The country waits, the ports wait, the palace waits. History is now hours, not days, away. And now Britain waits, not for weeks, not even days, for tonight. 48:20 arrivals, 68 lorries. A second convoy approaching. Border stability cracking under pressure no government prepared for. One decision will define the next chapter of this crisis. Does the Prime Minister declare a national border emergency, or does Parliament declare a leadership one? Because if more lorries land without action, public patience will not bend, it will break. And if authority fails twice in 1 week, Britain could witness something no modern generation has seen, a government slipping under the weight of its own hesitation. Tell us in the comments, does Starmer survive this storm, or is this the beginning of the end? Share this right now so more people see what's unfolding. Follow, because the next update isn't days away, it's already on the horizon.